Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome to the PocketSuite Mini Series. This episode is brought to you by PocketSuite, the app helping independent beauty and wellness professionals simplify their business and stay connected with clients. Today, we're diving into how Elisha at Glow Studio Skincare in Dallas takes an inside-out approach to skincare, helping clients achieve real, lasting glow from within. From addressing acne scarring and dullness to creating healthy, radiant skin, Elisha's results go deeper than surface-level care, though. She's sharing how she guides clients through holistic skin journeys and how PocketSuite helps her manage every step of that process seamlessly from booking to follow-up. Welcome, Elisha.
Hello, thank you for having me, Heidi. That was a great introduction, by the way.
I love it. Listen, I got to give the people, the listeners, everything they want to hear. And you have so much to offer. So I just was like, we need to talk about it all. So, first, before we dive into everything today, I'm so excited. Let's start at the beginning. How did you get into skincare? And what inspired you to start Glow Studio Skincare?
I was working in corporate, moved to Dallas in 2017. I did corporate for like 2 years. And I was at work one day thinking, like, I don't like this. Like, this is so boring. Yes, I went to school for this, but this isn't really what I feel like my passion is to be doing on this earth. So I said a prayer to God and I said, God, whatever my passion is, whatever my purpose is, just reveal it to me. Just go ahead and give it to me because I'm feeling stagnant. I'm bored. I need something new. I want to do something that I actually enjoy doing. So initially, I wanted to be a dermatologist, but I didn't want to go to med school and have all of those student loans. So I just decided to move here after I got my bachelor's. And one morning, I woke up after saying that prayer and I thought about getting a facial. I had never gotten a facial, had no idea what an esthetician was, let alone how to spell it. So then I'm thinking, like, okay, so who's going to do my facial? I've never had one. I'm new to the city. I don't know anyone here. So then this light bulb went off that said Aveda. So I remember meeting this girl who went to Aveda cosmetology school, and I was thinking, oh, I didn't know they did hair and facials and everything else. So I went to Aveda. I got a facial by student Esty, and I was laying there letting her play in my face, and I was thinking, oh, I could do this. This is almost equivalent to being a dermatologist. I just can't diagnose, but I can help people heal their skin and get to their desired skin goal. So I was laying there, and after she finished, I went upstairs to actually inquire about the school to see about pricing, see about the process. They were super expensive, so I just started looking at other places and started looking at schools that would kind of align with my schedule because I also worked full time and I didn't want to quit my job to start something else. We want to be obedient, but we also kind of be a little like, okay, I want to do this, but how am I going to do this? So I started looking at other schools. I found a school that I could actually afford that was cheaper. It also offered more. So they offer microdermabrasion, dermaplaning, chemical peels, and a lot of schools don't offer that without charging you extra money on top of the money that they're charging. So I said, you know what? I'll do this. I'll go to school. I'll go to work from 8 to 5, go to school from 6 to 10. I did that part time. So it took me a year to do that because here you need like 750 hours to be an SD. So closer to the end, I said, God, okay, I'm almost done. I love what I'm doing. What's next? Like, I'm still with this same job. How are we going to get rid of this job? So I ended up getting laid off February of 2020. And it was perfect for me because I had just talked to God about it again that January, thinking, like, okay, so how am I going to get rid of this job? So they gave me a severance package. I got a lot of other benefits. It worked out perfectly. I was almost done with school. I had already finished paying for school. All I needed to do was just get to the finish line and get my license and start doing facials. So once I finished, I started going back home to Mississippi once a month to kind of build my portfolio, build my social media presence, build my confidence too, because I was right out of school, officially licensed, wasn't really good with timing, didn't really know what it was like. I knew the face was my canvas, but I didn't really know how to be comfortable with it yet. So I really just gained my confidence and credibility through going back and forth, going home. And then I started taking clients at home in Dallas. And then eventually I transitioned to a suite later on that year. And then that next year, I found out I was pregnant, and I also birthed my business too. So I birthed my daughter and my business the same year. So I became a mom and a business owner within the same year. And it just worked out perfectly because even with it happening like that, I was still super excited because I thought my business would be my only baby, but obviously God saw otherwise. So I have two babies now, my business and my baby.
What a story. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, you got, sometimes life really throws you some curveballs, but it sounds to me like that passion was there from the very beginning, that
Mhm.
inspiration was there, and you followed like your intuition. You followed what, was being led in front of you. And I love that because I do think like we have to be passionate number one in this industry, right? As service providers. So helping your clients in their glowing skin journey, helping them achieve the results they're looking for. What does that mean to you?
That I mean, we are what we consume because a lot of us like sugar, we like dairy, we like spices. A lot of people have rosacea, acne, hormonal acne. We have different types of acne and skin issues. And a lot of us don't really sit there and think about our diet because our diet plays a main role, even with losing weight. Our diet is like one of the biggest things that we could possibly change in order to lose weight. So I tell people, let's think about what you're consuming first. What's our water intake looking like? Are we consuming enough? Are we drinking coffee every day? Are we drinking Cokes every day? Like, what are we doing every day? And so once I figure out what their diet is like and I kind of twitch it a little bit for them and they see results within the first 30 days, they're like, oh, you know what? I don't need dairy every day. I don't need coffee every day. I don't need an energy drink every day. Like, I can just drink water, use my regimen that you put me on, and just take my vitamins. And like vitamin C, vitamin E, I tell people all the time, if you really want to do vitamin E, you can get the vitamin E capsule and stick a hole in it and put it on your face and use it as a beauty hack. So we don't always have to use products that are just like too advanced for our skin, when we sometimes can take holistic ways like turmeric, ginger, aloe vera, make a natural mask at home. Because I have some people who don't like the medical grade products. They would rather do something more organic and something that's vegan friendly. So I tell them, okay, well, we don't have to do medical grade. We can go in your kitchen, use some organic products, whip up something together, formulate our own potions, and you can just put that on your face and it'll take a little longer, but we'll get there with consistency and just being patient. So you are what you eat, you are what you consume. And I tell people, even when you work out, you have to make sure you're washing your face immediately after you're done working out because that bacteria sits on your face. So just going over those necessary lifestyle changes that they need to make to actually reverse whatever their skin issues are. And so that it'll be long term versus it being like something that you achieve and then you can't maintain it because you didn't turn it into a lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like a lot of people specifically don't take in enough water. And actually, before we hit record today, we were both talking about that. Like, we're talking about like we need to get more water in our body.
True.
And so I agree with you. Like, it's as an esthetician, I think specifically if you're listening and you focus on facials, like how hard it is to get that client to get results, especially if the other side of their life is, giving into all those things that are obviously showing up on their skin, showing up in their body. So I agree with you. Now, why do you think it's so hard for clients to kind of take that inside look of the internal side of skin health? Why do you think it's like such a shift sometimes and like such a conversation?
Because I feel like once we become adjusted and acclimated to doing something for so long, like if you're used to eating cheese eggs, it's hard for someone like me who you just met. You want to trust me, but and you know that I'm result driven, but you also want to build that rapport with me and get to a point where you feel like, okay, I can actually listen to her. So it's not an easy thing. It's just like telling a kid they can't have ice cream and they don't understand why they can't have ice cream because they're not gaining weight. Like they're not doing anything. They're kids, they're toddlers, they're burning it off every day. So a lot of people are kind of stuck in their own ways and they want to do it their way versus doing it the right way. And you know the whole when you know better, you do better. Yeah, that's true, but it's hard for us to do better. And it's hard for us to not only do better, but be consistent with it. So I have some people that'll do better. They understand, they trust me, they'll be consistent. And as soon as they run out of products or as soon as it's time to go grocery shopping again, they're back to their old ways. So it's something you have to build your way up to versus it being an overnight process. And a lot of people would rather go, Accutane and stuff like that, that kind of is considered an overnight fix, but they don't really know the long term effect behind it because they're not educating themselves and no one's really educating them either. So people like quick fixes. And when I'm so honest with them because I am so passionate about skin, I can't fix it overnight. But if you give me 6 months to a year, depending on how bad or how long it's been there, we can figure this out together. Every month will be better. Just give it 30 days at a time.
Yeah, I agree with you. The incremental thing, that's huge. And I take this same theory with selling retail. I always tell people like you're not necessarily going to sell retail the first time you meet a client. Like you have to build up that rapport, you have to build that relationship with your client in order for them to trust you, in order for them to see what's working. And I agree with you on it. It's going to take a while. I think that's one thing that I wish more clients knew about their skin journey, that it's not going to happen overnight. It's a progressive process. Your cell turnover has to be there. It has to, your at-home regimen has to be there. You're known for the transformation of the skin. You're known for, getting rid of that acne scarring, getting rid of the acne, getting rid of, having that glow, right? And giving your clients that glow. What are some of your signature services and treatments for those services, specifically maybe acne scarring and just getting that glow?
So I always start off with the microdermabrasion, which is the diamond glow, because I feel like everyone can benefit from this, no matter the age, whatever, you can benefit from this. So with the microdermabrasion, I love that it removes a layer of dead skin. It helps with fine lines, wrinkles, acne, deep scarring. It pretty much helps with everything, and it's very safe for someone who's pregnant, someone who's young, anybody. So I always start people off with that one, and that's when I put them on that customized regimen. I exfoliate them really good. I do their least favorite part, the extractions, to really get the blackheads and whiteheads out. So that's when I really get to know their skin, and then I'll go into the chemical peels, which is my second favorite advanced treatment to do. And with the chemical peels, I use PCA skin. I do cocktails, so I kind of mix my own. I don't really use one per person. I may use two different ones or three different ones, or I may use one. So they have different ones, and it just depends. If you're someone who has discoloration, I'll use the one that's specifically for discoloration. If you have acne and big pores, which big pores and acne, they kind of go together because the oilier the skin, the more acne prone you are. So I'll use something that has more of like a salicylic acid for those people. And if you're someone who are concerned about aging, I have the anti-aging one that helps with fine lines, wrinkles, or if you have rosacea or melasma, like just different stuff for different strokes, different folks. So I like to kind of do those little cocktails. But my favorite one is the microchanneling by ProCell Therapies. It's kind of like micro needling, but instead of you gliding the needle across the skin and circling the needle, you're actually tapping the needle into the skin, sending channels throughout the skin. And it has natural ingredients like collagen, hyaluronic acid, peptides, things that our bodies naturally produces. And the results are chef's kiss. Like they're very effective, very efficient. You typically only need about 4 to 5 treatments depending on the age or how long you've had the discoloration or fine lines and wrinkles. A lot of my clients like to call it the baby Botox because instead of them spending thousands of dollars on Botox, they get this microchannel glow, and the jawline is tight, the forehead is tighter, like everything is just tighter. The skin is glowing, it looks more revitalized, more refreshed. That's actually one of my faves. I will do like 1 or 2 on my face every year. I can use numbing cream, but I don't. And it's like a 14-day process, and every 2 days, the skin just becomes even more beautiful. So the chemical peel and the microchanneling are my faves, but the microchanneling is my absolute baby. I started
Yeah,
doing a little later after the peels, but that is my go-to. So
I
if it's
love it.
someone who are afraid of needles, I stick to the chemical peels, and I also may do an enzyme treatment, which the enzyme treatment doesn't have any downtime and it's pretty light. It's for someone with sensitive skin. So it just depends on who I'm working with and what their pain tolerance is and what they can handle.
I love it. I used to do PCA peels as well. And one of the things I like about that peel line is you can layer and you can mix and you can really customize it. But it sounds to me like you really offer treatments that, your services always are going to give results. So no matter if it's their first appointment or it's their 10th appointment with you, they're going to get results. And then obviously we know as estheticians, those results are going to, multiply if you're being consistent with it. I love it. Yes, all three of those services are just but yeah, I agree with you. The micro channeling is really where it's at right now because, microneedling, microchanneling, they're all a little different, people. Definitely listen. I have an episode previous to this that we talk about that. Now, let's switch up a little bit about your client care. What I'm hearing is you really want your clients to go on a journey with you. You really want your clients to come back and get a series of treatments because that's really where you're educating your client and saying, hey, we're going to get you these results, but you have to come back to me and you have to be doing these things consistently. How do you stay consistent with like follow-ups and rebookings, especially when your clients need that long-term like care and that relationship?
Okay, that's why I love PocketSuite so much because it has simplified my life so much. So I have a subscription plan. So if I get someone who wants to do chemical peels, they can get on the chemical peel subscription plan. I have a 3 month and I have a 6 month. I look at your skin. I see how the first one goes. I tell you whether we need to do 3 months or we need to do 6 months. I have a micro channeling subscription plan. It typically will tell you you may need four minimum and you may need six max depending on your age. I can pretty much look at them and tell how many they'll need. So those subscription plans really help me stay organized with people, and especially the ones who are very serious about their skincare. And I also have a subscription plan for people who are just getting started. They want to either get a microderm or a dermaplane every month and they want to save a little bit of money. So it sends them a reminder before they leave. I even present it to them, or I'll even ask them if you're not ready to commit like that, I can go ahead and book your next facial for you. You'll already have it set. You don't have to do anything. I can do everything on my end. And even if you want to text me or call me, text or call this number, that premium number that PocketSuite gave me, so that I can actually do it for you in case you're too busy to do it. So just having that feature with the subscription and just knowing how to communicate with clients and really filling them out and trying to get them to pre-book is the important thing.
Yeah, I agree. As your business is growing, was there a moment that you were like, I need an easier way to stay organized. I need an easier way to access my clients. Like, was there like a light bulb moment before you found out about Pocket Suite?
No, because I knew Pocket Sweet since before I got started. So actually, the lady school who I went to, she used Pocket Sweet, and so she would tell us about Pocket Sweet. So even when I finished school and I became licensed, Pocket Sweet was one of the first platforms that I used. And at the time, I think I started off with their free 30-day trial, and then I ended up just. I think I did like a month to month, and then I ended up doing annual or something like that. But it just worked out perfectly because hearing her talk about Pocket Suite and me playing with Pocket Suite, having that free 30-day to just play with it and see what I wanted to do with it, that was all I ever needed. So I didn't have to go check out other platforms. Pocket Suite was already, and then it's woman owned. And so me being a woman
Yes.
business, I was like, oh, I like this. Shout out to the woman owned businesses out there.
I am obsessed. Yes. And you know what? We should be supporting all the businesses, especially small businesses that we
Yes.
can. I love that. That's amazing that, I one of the best features about Pocket Suite is they do offer that 30-day, like, let's try it out, try it for your business in 30 days, see if you like it. The
Mhm.
other thing that I wanted to mention that you mentioned earlier is memberships or like subscription plans. If you haven't implemented a subscription or a membership plan, you guys, you need to because it is just so much easier for the client to think about not thinking about it, right?
Mhm.
Like it's just an easy way to sell your services. A lot of times too, when you're doing subscriptions or memberships, like you are going to be giving them a little bit of a discount too because they're signing up for that monthly, withdrawal. And so in their mind, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a better deal. I'm going to just come in because I'm already, regulated with this plan. Like I love this. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that is such a good marketing thing. We've talked a little bit more about PocketSuite. We've shared that it is our favorite. Is there any feature in the PocketSuite app that you use every day and it's like your game changer, like you could not live without it?
The forms and the contracts, because when I first got started, I did hear about Pocket Suite and I knew about it, but the one thing I didn't know were the chargebacks. So, when you're getting started, you have your rules. People don't respect your rules. People do whatever they want to do. You have your no shows, you have your same day cancellations. And I was going through dispute after dispute. I was not winning. I did not understand. So when I started kind of playing with Pocket Suite a little bit and I was given that white glove status that they gave me, I was able to talk to someone and see that I needed to be sending out these contracts whenever they book their appointments. And I only confirm the appointments if they sign the contract, because I want you to know that if you cancel within a certain time or it's a same day cancellation or a no show, these are the rules. And you pretty much have to abide by the rules. So Pocket Suite contracts pretty much saves me from disputes after getting so many disputes. So I was just so thankful for that feature. And the forms too, because when you're getting to know someone, the first thing you want to send them is an intake form, because you want to know their allergies, you want to know their birthday, you want to know emergency contacts, what they're currently using, if they've been on retinols, Accutane, or whatever other things they've been on. So having those forms and me not having to give you a paper when you get in, that's a lot to keep up with. We're in the 2025, 2026 era now, so we don't have time for paperwork. I just want everything to be in one file on one app with everyone's documents right there, and I could just go to your name, click on it, and I have a list of everything I need right here.
I will say online, I hear a lot of people have frustrations with contracts. I have, there's a lot of people in like the Facebook groups out there, if you guys are a part of them, that they talk about how hard it is to give forms to people, how hard it is, how expensive it is to work with all these other subscription type services. So I love that PocketSuite really thought about that. And they're like, I know that this is a vital part of your business. Like like you said, we're not going to accept that appointment unless we know a little bit about what you're doing, especially when you're working with skin. The
Mhm.
contraindication list is long, right? Especially for peels. So
Mhm.
I love that. And I think it's from what you're saying, it's easy to integrate too. It's easy to customize them. It's easy to make it your own. Is that correct?
Because I don't have to use like Stripe or anyone else to check my clients out. Like they accept all forms of payments. They do tap. I can, even if someone paid me in cash, I can still send them a receipt because it gives me the option to say, oh, they paid in cash. So just having itemized copies of everything, being able to sell my products on there if I don't want to sell my products on my website, just small things like that that I really just love about Pocket Suite.
I love it. Okay, so you're helping your clients feel confident from the inside out. We're giving them glowy skin. We're helping them with their acne. We're helping them just smooth it out. Now, how do you maintain that balance for yourself as a business owner? So it sounds like you're busy, you're growing, your spa's busy. Obviously, you have a great, integration with PocketSuite, but like, how do you take care of yourself as a business owner?
I have my set days where I have my me day and I have my day that I dedicate to my daughter. Good thing she goes to school Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So she's at school most of the time. But Saturdays are for her. So I don't typically work on Saturdays because that's the one day during the 7 days that I actually get to give her my time. I'm doing self-care Sundays on clients on Sundays. And so on Fridays, I typically don't work. Sometimes I work, sometimes I won't. But Fridays are usually my day. Saturdays are her day. And then sometimes with my mom being here too and me being the only child and my mom being my only family here, we might do stuff together on Saturday. So I make sure I have that balance between the business, being a mom and being a daughter as well. And then even with my friends too, they know I'm busy. They'll book a facial, they'll come get a facial, they'll bring me lunch or I'll do something with them. So I try to have my months planned out at a time, and with Pocket Suite kind of synchronizing everything to my personal calendar too, it works out perfectly so that I'm not double booking or overbooking myself. So I do try to have that balance in those set days where I'm like, okay, I'm not working this day. Let me turn the work phone off. Let me not get on social media. Let me just focus on myself and my family.
Yeah. And finding that balance sometimes takes a while, but I will say, like, just from hearing your story, like you've stuck with it because you're like, this is important to me to spend that special time with my daughter. This is
Mhm.
important to me to have that me time because we know we can't pour from an empty cup. Like And
Mhm.
especially service providers, like I feel like we're pouring so much into our clients all day long that we do need to think about ourselves and like, get that refresh. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
for any esthetician that's listening that is trying to grow or trying to, maximize their business, let's say, you've obviously done an amazing job growing your business. Is there any advice that you would give them?
Always be confident in you. Like, you have to bet on yourself. If you think it, do it. If you have second thoughts about it, pray about it. But if it's something that you've already prayed about and it's something that you're passionate about, you just really have to put your all into it. I always hear this quote that says, stay small enough, long enough, and you'll be big enough soon enough. So stay small, but think big, but always go hard for yourself. Market yourself. Social media is a thing right now. Like, I've become overwhelmed with social media right now, and I'm pretty young. I'm 31. So I can only imagine what it's like for other people. But you have to just keep posting. Like, I took a sabbatical break recently where I stopped posting for a little while and I just wanted to regroup and recharge myself. So it's okay to take breaks, but don't take a break forever. Don't become distracted. You have to always recharge and refocus yourself and just be patient with yourself. It'll come. Find your niche, run with it. Don't try to do 1,000 things at one time. Find that one thing that you're great at and stick with it and perfect it and just become a student of the industry and just always be open to meeting new people and new opportunities.
I agree. I agree. And finding that passion and sticking with that passion, that's huge. I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm multifaceted. I want to do all these things. But I always tell people the longer that you're in the industry, you will find something that you're just going to gravitate towards. You will find like a service that you're like so passionate about, you can't shut up about it. So, like,
Mhm.
I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Take her advice, people. Now, looking ahead for 2026, what is coming up for Glow Studio Skincare?
I'm thinking about getting into electrolysis because a lot of my clients have been struggling with like PCOS and just excessive hair growth. Okay, me too. So, we're there. So we understand. And it's hard. I don't like it. Like, that was one of the main reasons I got into aesthetics because I know what it's like to have low self esteem because of the fact that you have a pimple or you have acne or you have any type of skin issue. So the hair thing now has been a thing for me. And when it comes to lasering, you have to be very careful with lasering, especially with the different skin types. And with electrolysis, based on my research, it's more permanent. So if I'm going to be doing something, I'm a result driven person, as we know this by now. So it has to make sense to me. So with the electrolysis, it just makes sense to me. It's just all about finding someone in Dallas, or not even Dallas, somewhere else who knows how to do it, because I don't think there's many people doing it here. I've been doing my research and there's not. So I may have to travel to get some education on it and then just bring my tools and skills back to Dallas. So that's one thing I've been thinking about. And I've also been thinking about going to nursing school to maybe doing the medical side of aesthetics because that's been something that's very popular and I love the face. I love the whole baby Botox thing. So I've been thinking about that too, but electrolysis for sure.
I love it. Well, you'll have to listen into my podcast episode with Latanya. She is a local electrologist here in the Twin Cities, and she does an amazing thing. But I dipped into electrolysis for a while too, and I know all about it too. But I agree with you. It is something that, is kind of like not talked about a lot, but it's amazing service. So especially for, yeah, like you said, anybody that has a little random pop-up of chin hair, but they only have like three and they don't want to wax and they don't want to laser because those are not always for people. Electrolysis is such a great option. Like it is amazing. Latanya did my underarms and don't have to worry about those anymore. So
Watch that. I may have to come there and take her class. Do you know if she offers classes for
I
it?
think she does do apprenticeships or offers classes. She's just starting with that. So she's been in the electrolysis space for a really long time, but I'll connect you after this. But yay, I'm so excited. That's a great service to come out with. 2026 is going to be amazing. So
Yeah.
for anyone who wants to learn more about you, Glow Studio Skincare, and how you've streamlined your business with Pocket Suite, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at glowwithlisa_. My website is www.glowssc.com and my email is so long. But if you go on my social media and you click on contact her, my email will pop up. And Pocket Suite should definitely be on there because I just recently posted a video about how great they are.
Yes. And of course, as you guys know, I will put all of those links in the show notes. So all you have to do is just click them and it'll take you right to those pages that she mentioned. And thank you for being on today, Alicia.
Thank you so much for having me, Heidi.
To learn more about how PocketSuite can help you streamline your business, check out the link in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I'd love for you to leave a review. It really helps more people find the show. And if you know someone who'd also enjoy it, share it with them or tag me on Instagram so I can thank you. New episodes come out every week, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. See you next time.